Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mental House with me, your host, Khadija. Yeah. This tea is really kind of got me up in arms. This tea is is got me hot and I'm boiled. I thought I could do this once and be done with it, but the more I dissect this young man's letter, the more I see narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic behavior, and the fact that he's going to be, let out of jail in a few months, and there really, from my knowledge, is not any um, kind of restrictions on him once he get out. So I know he's going to hit the interviewing circuit, and from the letter that I just wrote again, read again in its entirety, because I cannot fathom how this man has turned himself into the victim after he has killed this woman's daughter. And so, what I'm trying to do with this mental house is really try to, whether you on the mental house sports edition or whether you at the just mental house TV, I just really want y'all to start becoming aware of these behaviors and these character defects that are really dangerous, and people have brushed them off, especially in the what I should say, the minority communities, and as just, that's just the way that person is, or they just being so and so, without really thinking about the ramifications of their words and what they're saying, because some stuff is clearly mentally ill, severely narcissistic tendencies, which would allow me to believe, in my opinion, when a person shows no apathy, and everything they do is calculated and deceptive, I really wrestle with the fact that they're human at all, me personally. Now, I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about at this age where I am, because there's certain qualifications and attributes that a person must have in order to qualify them as being human. So some of these attributes, now whether you breathe the same air, you could be it's like a clone. Whether you reproduce, all these things are totally unimportant to me. What is important to me is your character and some of the things that I see along the way that can show me if you're a problem or you're going to be a problem, even bigger problem maybe in some instances than you were at first. And in my thinking, Ray Carew is either going to come out. I can't see it going but one way from this letter that I wrote. I can't see him, since he's put himself in the position of the victim. And I'm gonna tell you, I'll show you what I mean, because I know a lot of y'all have a little problem with me being so blunt and direct in my thought process about people. Well, after being on the planet this long, I can pretty much read people the way I need to make a pretty good assessment. Now, does that mean I'm always right? No, because there's nothing that's always. But I say a good 98% of the time, I'm dead on it. And I don't challenge my thought, nor do I uh, challenge my intuition, because it hits me in my gut like somebody hit you with a ton of bricks. And when I read this letter from Ray Carew, I was like, "Oh, you not ready, dude? You not?" And I'm gonna share with y'all exactly with you all what I took an offense to, what I still take an offense to, and please leave me your comments, because I want this to be. Don't just take my word for it, because y'all thought process is just as important. So, Zuri, let me do this video, please. So, what I want to do is leave it to y'all, and I want to break this letter down in a way that I didn't before, because I. Mm-mm. All right. So first he makes an open letter introduction. I guess that's to us. I didn't write this letter in an attempt to win anyone over, especially not the public. I understand what an impossibility such an endeavor would be, and aside from that, I have long accepted my lot as a social pariah. Instead, I wrote this letter and chose to make it public in an effort to openly confront and debunk lies that Mrs. Adams continued to tell about me, knowing full well that in doing so, it will only add to the public ire against me. However, with the bigger picture in mind, it is my hope that despite the increased level of negativity that comes my way, what I have written will force the media and public alike to begin to challenge Mrs. Adams on the truthfulness of her statements she makes about me, her claims of forgiveness, and also her sincerity concerning Chancellor. I having a relationship going forward. Okay, that's just what he introduced to me. So already, when I look at this, me personally, I'm like, oh, okay. My hairs are already standing up because the first thing I will be thinking is, why is you fucking with her? That's my very first thought that comes out of my mind is, okay, you may say, somebody y'all might say, well, his son is there. Okay, but his son should have been dead, according to him. I wrote this letter and chose to make it public in an effort to openly confront and debunk the lies. Now, if you don't give a damn, like you just said, about what the public thinks about you, okay? You since you're a social pariah, and you know you already know this. You understand what an impossibility and this letter would do in terms of winning anyone over, especially not the public. Well, then, sir, with all due respect to you, your low down behind. How could you turn around and say that I wrote this letter and chose to make it public in an effort to openly confront and debunk the lies? You have not told the truth since the girl has been murdered. You've been vague all around it. You've never said, yeah, I conspired with Van Brent Watkins. I conspired with Michael Kennedy. These words never came out of your mouth, but I'm just going to go on a little further because anybody that lets you out of jail, let y'all know just how screwed and fucked this system really is. The fact that he can come out after spending 18 years in jail, and I got people in jail that I know that spend more time and is doing more time for less offensive crime. And so I don't understand that. I can't, my mind can't process this insanity. Okay, that's why I say I just can't follow unjust laws. I just can't. Now, this is the letter he wrote to Sandra. I'd like to begin this letter by thanking you for for the unconditional care, compassion, love, and support you have shown Chancellor from the very beginning of his existence. Okay. Don't forget now, my hair is still standing up and I'm still kind of looking at you sideways. You want to thank me. It goes without, I'm trying to not harden my heart. So I'm trying to come from a space of, okay, so it goes without saying that it is because of you that he continues to exceed all expectations that have been set out for him, both mentally and physically. Now, I want y'all to watch the tone of this letter. Chancellor is strong, vibrant, obviously filled with joy and happiness. With all that he's been through, Chancellor is nothing less than a miracle child. And you, ma'am, help make that miracle happen. See, this is the charming. Mrs. Adams, you have truly been a godsend. Right? Now, we could have just left it there. Oh, but no, because a narcissist can't do that because he's setting the tone. You got to remember, he's going to make himself the victim. Which brings me to why I decided to write you this letter and the manner in which I chose to do it in. Mrs. Adams, your story of how you lost your daughter, how Chancellor came into this world, and the way that he has gone on to endure, thrive, and overachieve with you by his side is heart-wrenching and inspiring on its own. That there isn't any need for embellishment or lies. So he's calling a woman a liar right off the bat. Ain't no need for you lying. And I'm responsible for killing your daughter. Oh, Van Brent might have pulled the trigger. But I killed your daughter. Okay? So now you got the nerve to sit up here and tell me I'm embellishing a story with lies. And yet you've made a habit out of doing so in every interview that you've given since the beginning of this whole ordeal. I'm actually in awe of the way that you managed to come up with a new detrimental fact or statement about me year after year, and how you're able to look into a news camera and utter these fabrications with a straight face. Sound like you, Ray. Sound like you. You are pathetic. You are psychotic, man. And you know, reluctantly, I chose to remain silent, and you should have kept silent, bitch. Um, but I chose to remain silent until now, out of respect for you and what you've been through, and also because of my mistrust of the news media. Okay. But more importantly, I chose to remain silent for the same reason I stated back when we were corresponding with one another. I saw how the lies you told about me garnered great amount of public sympathy for you and Chancellor. Honey, she don't need to garner no freaking sympathy from the public after what happened to her daughter. Her daughter said in her own words what happened to her. Have you forgotten? I think that his sentence should be actually extended, and he should be made to listen to Sharika Adams' testimony tape, right there in her own words, what she felt happened to her over and over and over and over and over, to it's a mantra. It should be just like in those concentration camps when they get up in the morning, they hear the propaganda all day, all night, all day. They never sleep because the propaganda keeps them awake all night on a certain vibration radio station. And that's what should happen to him, period. Period. I saw how the lies you told about me garnered a great amount of public sympathy for you and Chancellor, and the way in which you were able to capitalize on the situation and use it to better care and provide for my son. Did you hear that? To better care and provide for my son. There's no lose sight that you try to kill him. In short, I didn't want to ruin your hustle. Did you hear that, y'all? In turn, in short, I didn't want to ruin your hustle. However, I had no idea that this hustle will go on for so long, and that you would so aptly continue to add new damning details to the narrative that don't contain 1 ounce of truth, and further vilify me in the process. I have to take a drink because I want y'all to see how this man is. See, sickness is when you can't take responsibility. If this is not taking responsibility for what he's done. So for any of y'all that accept apologies like this with all this bullshit coming behind it, you guys have been so abused that you don't understand what an apology really is. And you need therapy. Okay? Because this is not how you apologize to a person. This is how you further stick the knife in with salt on it and twist it. This is what this is. So you telling me I'm hustling my grandson now, and you killed his mama.